Well, a couple of things is you can always reach out to someone if you have someone that you trust that you want to talk to. One thing that I do, and it kind of sounds silly, but it really helps, is if you write whatever you're stressed out about, just write it down, tear the paper out of the notebook, put it in your drawer, shut the door, and then you know that your problem is there. You can look at it the next day, but you're not going to worry about it today. So that's one thing that sounds silly, but it's really helped me kind of fall asleep a little bit easier at night on some nights, and one that I like to tell people that you should at least try. I think that's something that's, I think, a real issue. And I know especially in minority communities, we kind of hear growing up that seeking those services can be looked at like a weakness. And I would just say it's actually quite the opposite. If you can really see what's bothering you and you know that it's affecting your life, to seek out those services to get, to help your life go forward is actually really empowering. And I think that that's just it, to take control of your life, to not let what other people think about mental health really affect your journey. Oh, I think it's absolutely incredibly important. When I think about my mental health and really kind of what that affects, I think about my kids first and foremost, and making sure that I'm going to be the best mom to them. And so a lot of times if I'm struggling with something, I'll talk to my kids, not maybe necessarily about that issue, but kind of just in general what their life is, talk to them about mental health with them. We talk about mental health all the time in my house. So just kind of looking at how my mental health affects them is a big piece of it. But I have friends that I'll reach out to, my family I'll reach out to, and just people in the community that have been really open with their journey and how mental health affects them. Knowing that other people feel kind of the same way and that we can bounce ideas off of each other has been a huge help as well. I think we're social creatures by nature, and this last year has been just extremely hard because there isn't more isolation than ever before. I'm more of an introverted person, and even I am like, okay, I'm ready to get out and socialize again. So it is important that we have those social aspects, to know that we're not alone in this, and that so many of us are at home. If you don't have kids, if you don't have a spouse, you really are at home alone so much. And so finding people around you that are also in that same boat, setting up Zoom meetings or just talking on the phone, really reaching out, because this has been an extremely hard year for everybody, and we have to get through it together. One thing that I do to clear my head is I get outside. I take my dog on a walk. Now my dog's on a walk, and just get in the fresh air. Even when it's chilly, bundle up. And it just kind of, that process of walking and clearing your head, at least for me, does, wonders to, if I'm struggling with something that I'm anxious about, kind of getting out, clearing my head, it really kind of makes my mind calm down. So any kind of physical activity, I think, at least for me, has that impact. And so I think that's a huge, huge part and an aspect to help. We do check-ins. So I ask all of my kids, what's bothering you? What, if anything, can I do to help? We all went to, at the beginning of this process, we went to a family counselor and kind of just said, this is kind of where we're at now. We want to make sure that we're not falling off anywhere, and that even as I was running for this seat, that their mental health was never going to be affected in a way that would really impact their life. So we do a lot of these talks anyway at home, but in this last year, it's been hard. And so just having that option of going to talk to a therapist, either one-on-one or with me or as a family unit, throwing that out there anytime we're kind of in a situation where we just don't know the best way forward, has been just a huge help to know that we have that. So I think just going to a counselor or someone who's outside of your situation, who can look in on it and kind of give advice and guidance, I don't know how you get better than that. And I think it's so important and something that we really utilize in my household.